Danny sat in his therapy session, lost in thought until his therapist snapped him back to reality. She asked him to remember the traumatic event that brought him here. Danny began recounting the devastating loss of Minnie, the young girl he had been caring for. It all started when he took Minnie to the park. She was happily playing, but Danny got distracted for just a moment. In that brief second, Minnie vanished without a trace. Danny became suspicious of a man named Lyle, who had been watching the children closely. He managed to get Lyle arrested, but Lyle's lawyer argued that he was mentally incapable and couldn't remember what had happened to Minnie. Years passed, and Danny's wife, Vivian, left him, but Danny could never move on from Minnie's disappearance. After the session ended, Danny looked at pictures of Minnie and his ex-wife, Vivian, who had blonde hair, before meeting his partner, Nix. The two detectives were heading to a local bank after receiving an anonymous tip about a possible robbery. Nix explained that 2 other branches of the same bank had been robbed recently, but each time, only one specific safety deposit box was taken, despite the fact that the box contained no money. When they arrived, they joined the surveillance team and started watching the bank from a truck. It wasn't long before Danny noticed a man named Del Rain sitting on a bench with a woman. Something about Del Rain looked familiar. He made a casual comment about how hot it was, and the woman echoed his words before walking away. Danny then saw Del Rain talking to the police outside the bank, and they let him pass easily. Danny realized Del Rain had accomplices and quickly decided to follow him. Inside the bank, Danny tried to act casual and told an employee he wanted to open a safety deposit box. After the employee tried to stop him, Danny secretly stole the keys and pretended to need them. He was led to the vault, but when the man realized the keys were missing, he left to find them, giving Danny the perfect opportunity to open the box. To his shock, inside was a picture of Minnie and a note saying, "Find Lev Del Rain." Meanwhile, outside, the woman who had been with Del Rain was still complaining about the heat. She started taking off her clothes and walked into the street, causing a car accident that blocked the road. As chaos unfolded, Del Rain entered the bank, and with just one word, he made the receptionist decide to close for the day. Suddenly, the police barged in and Danny was shot, though he was protected by a bulletproof vest. Del Rain's accomplices escorted the woman with the deposit box out of the bank and into an armored truck. However, the truck soon became stuck in traffic because of the crash. As the woman continued to suffer from imagined heat, the receptionist tried to drive the truck but crashed, dying instantly. Del Rain arrived at the crash site, retrieved the box, and planted a bomb in the woman's hand before leaving. Danny eventually caught up, but the bomb exploded, destroying all evidence. Danny saw Del Rain running and immediately chased him into an old building. Suddenly, a noise startled him, but it was just his fellow detectives. They made their way to the roof where Del Rain claimed he wasn't the right person. But when he mentioned Lyle, the two detectives turned their guns on Danny. Del Rain then revealed that the box was empty, and Nix arrived with backup. Trapped, Del Rain ordered the detectives to clean up before leaping off the building to escape. Danny looked around, but Del Rain was already gone. Nix informed Danny that only one guard survived, and like Lyle, he claimed to have no memory of the events. Later that evening, Danny was reviewing footage when Nix called him with the address of the anonymous tipster. Danny visited the location and met Diana, a psychic working with a large, intimidating man. As Danny tried to ask questions, Diana grew increasingly frightened and refused to answer, urging him to leave. Just then, the big man rushed outside, driving his bike straight through the store to kill Diana and Danny. They narrowly avoided being hit, but the man, frustrated by his failure, took his own life. With Diana now in danger, Danny took her to the police station where she revealed the truth. Del Rain was a hypnotic, meaning he had psychic abilities to control people's minds. Diana had similar powers, and both she and Del Rain used to work for a secret U.S. government agency called the Division. The program trained people with psychic abilities under the guise of helping them, but in reality, it was a tool for manipulating politics and conflicts. Diana explained that Del Rain had gone rogue, and although the Division tried to stop him, he escaped. She quit the agency to live in hiding. Diana had recognized Del Rain's involvement in the robberies when she saw that no one remembered anything, knowing it had to be him behind it. Outside, Del Rain had taken control of Nix, forcing him to attack Danny and Diana. Danny had to shoot Nix in the leg to stop him, but Nix continued to struggle, driven by Del Rain's control. Danny was forced to handcuff Nix, but even then, Nix didn't stop. Diana shot him in the head, explaining that Nix would have died anyway. They couldn't explain Nix's death, so they fled town, becoming fugitives. At a diner, Danny finally admitted that he now believed Lyle's claim of not remembering anything, and that Del Rain was likely behind Minnie's disappearance. Just as they were about to leave, A sheriff walked in and recognized them. Before he could act, Diana used her powers to manipulate him into calling the station and reporting that the fugitives had run away. She also made him pay for their meal. As they tried to leave, they got word that Delrain was after them. Outside, Delrain and 2 cops were waiting. Danny told Diana to run while he distracted them, taking cover behind passing trains. When he thought he had escaped, he was shocked to find the landscape had shifted, a trick of Delrain's mind control. As the cops closed in, a truck crashed into them, driven by Diana. Together, they escaped in the truck, heading for Mexico. Diana explained that a hypnotic could make people see whatever they wanted unless they had a psychic block. She believed Danny had a powerful block, but Delrain could still break it. At the border, a guard tried to stop them, but Diana used her powers to get past him. They eventually reached Jeremiah, another former division agent who didn't have psychic powers but had a strong block that only Delrain could break. When they arrived at Jeremiah's place, it seemed normal at first, but soon, it was clear that something was wrong. Jeremiah had been replaced by Delrain, who shot at them. Danny and Diana fled, dodging attacks and trying to blend into the crowd, with more people turning against them, apparently controlled by Delrain. Danny shot into the air to clear a path, but the chase continued, with no end in sight. Danny and Diana steal a bike and race through town, pushing anyone who tries to stop them out of the way. As they speed through the streets, the world around them starts to warp, leaving Danny disoriented. Diana quickly reassures him that none of it is real, and they keep going. However, their reckless ride leads to a truck swerving off the road and crashing into a building. As the building begins to collapse, they ditch the bike and flee. They end up cornered in a blocked alley. But just as things look hopeless, Delrain and a group of police officers show up. He attempts to use his powers to capture them. Danny, feeling lost and confused, remembers Diana's warning about the block and focuses his mind. Suddenly, he unleashes his own power of will, turning the police against Delrain. As the cops arrest him, Danny is shocked. He's never had powers before, but it's clear he's somehow been trained to control them. Diana realizes that Danny's memory must have been wiped. They seek help from River, a hacker and friend of Diana, who once built the division's network. River digs into Danny's past, uncovering military and police records but no mention of his wife. However, when River digs deeper, Danny is stunned to discover that his ex-wife, Vivian, is also part of the division. Her location is encrypted, so River will need a few hours to crack it. While they wait, Danny opens up to Diana, revealing his past with Vivian. He shares how they fell in love in college, got married and had a child, but their relationship shattered when their daughter, Minnie, was abducted. Danny believes Vivian lied about her job, but that her pain was real. As Diana takes a shower, Danny gets a call from an unknown number. It's Delrain, who uses his powers to make Danny hurt Diana. Danny fights against the urge to follow through, struggling to resist the dark influence. He looks at the scissors in his hand, not realizing how they got there, and forces himself to drop them. When Diana comes out of the bathroom, she notices something is wrong. In a moment of panic, Danny tries to fight the impulse to hurt her, but Diana kisses him, distracting him long enough to break free of the influence. They share an intimate moment and fall asleep together. But Danny's nightmares of his family and Diana turning into Vivian wake him. Later, Danny sneaks into River's room and, using the computer, uncovers a shocking truth. Diana's real name is Vivian, and she's still working for the division. It turns out Danny's memory was manipulated. Diana was always his true wife, but the division implanted false memories to make him see Vivian instead. In addition, Minnie, his daughter, isn't just any ordinary girl. She's Domino, a powerful hypnotic, the daughter of 2 other hypnotics. Diana eventually wakes up and shares the whole story. Both she and Danny had been part of the division, and when they learned of Minnie's powers, the division wanted to take her and train her to become the world's most powerful hypnotic. Diana agreed to the plan, but Danny couldn't let the government use their child for such a purpose. To protect Minnie, Danny kidnapped her and erased his own memories. As memories flood back, Danny explains how he wanted to keep Minnie safe from the division, and now he understands that nothing around him is real. Suddenly, the scene shifts, and Danny finds himself back at the division's base. Everything, from his life as a cop to his therapy sessions, was part of the division's illusion to extract Minnie's location from him. All the people he met, the therapist, the fake Vivian, River, and even Diana, were division agents playing their parts. Delrain, too, is in on it and holds the crucial photograph, explaining that the words written there are the key to finding Minnie. Danny refuses to cooperate and runs outside, discovering the sets built for the illusion. The division agents quickly surround him and use a taser to knock him out. He wakes up in a lab where Diana insists her love for him is real, but Danny rejects her. The division proceeds to connect Danny to a machine and begin the process of resetting his memory. Now, whenever they ask him a question, he can only say, "I don't know." When Danny wakes up again, it feels like he's back at the therapist's office, the illusion starting over as if nothing had changed. But this time, Danny notices something different. When he looks at his phone in the fake elevator, he sees pictures of Diana's real face. His mental block has become strong enough to break through the reset. He pretends to comply with the illusion, playing along for now. Nix, one of the agents, comes to pick him up and they head to the bank, another part of the set. Danny pretends to take notes about a case, but when they're distracted, he slips away. He steals a van, drives it recklessly, and crashes through everything in his path. Diana tries to stop him using her powers, but Danny's block is stronger than ever. Meanwhile, Nix discovers Danny's notebook and realizes he's been using it to decipher the phrase from the photograph. It turns out the key to finding Minnie is an anagram. Find Lev Delrain rearranges to Deer Valley Lane, Minnie's location. Danny finally arrives at Deer Valley, where he's met by Carl and Thelma, who are waiting with weapons drawn. They confirm that Danny has remembered everything, and they take him inside, where he's reunited with Minnie, now a young girl playing with dominoes. She hugs her father tightly. Just as they're celebrating, Minnie announces that her mother is here. Meanwhile, division agents arrive by helicopter and discover the ranch's location, realizing it belongs to Thelma and Carl, Danny's foster parents. As the agents land, Thelma and Carl warn them to stay back. Diana, however, doesn't recognize them, and the situation quickly escalates. Delrain orders his men to shoot, but Danny steps forward, telling Diana that the woman he loves wouldn't want such a life for her daughter. Minnie steps forward and reveals that this whole setup was a plan to escape the division. Delrain panics and shoots the house, causing the illusion to crack. Minnie uses her powers to make Nix turn on the other agents, and Danny forces the remaining ones to end things themselves. As the illusion collapses, Delrain realizes they're not in Deer Valley at all, but on a fake set near the hills. Carl and Thelma are still alive and help shoot the remaining agents. Minnie connects with Diana, fixing her memories, and Diana remembers everything. The division's plan is finally undone. Danny reveals the full story. He and Diana had always intended to protect Minnie from the division. To do that, they erased their memories and made a plan to escape. Minnie had been hiding with her grandparents, learning to harness her powers, while her parents secretly planned to bring down the division. Now, with the division's plans destroyed, the family celebrates their freedom. They board a helicopter to leave, while Carl stays behind to clean up. But as soon as they take off, Danny's final revelation comes to light. Carl had been Delrain all along, and the real Carl was dead. As the family flies away, Delrain is free to start his next scheme to capture Minnie. And to start a new movie recap, click on my recommendations on the right next. Drop a like and subscribe for future recaps. Grab your popcorn, enjoy yourself, and see you soon, my friend.